They told you to fear it. They gave it a name, the evil eye, and taught you to flinch, to ward it off, to never look too long. But what if the greatest lie was in the name itself? What if the eye was never evil? What if it was a symbol of protection, of divine awareness, a mirror of truth, twisted over time to keep you blind? You've seen it everywhere, carved into temples, painted on walls, sold in markets, worn around necks. But you've never been told the full story. Today, you will be. In the oldest corners of human civilization, in Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Turkey, North Africa, the eye was not a curse. It was a shield. The Eye of Horus in Egypt was a symbol of healing, protection, and restored power. The Eye of Ra, divine judgment, yes, but also the force that burns away evil. In Turkey, the Nazar wasn't evil at all. It was a sacred talisman to reflect destructive energy away from the soul. In the East, in Islamic cultures, Jewish mysticism, and ancient Sufism, the eye represented awareness beyond illusion, a gateway to inner knowing. It wasn't evil, it was sacred tech, a spiritual firewall. So where did the lie begin? That's what we're going to uncover. If you're already starting to see this symbol differently, like the video to help this truth reach more people. Subscribe if you want to reclaim what history tried to erase. Because this story is just beginning. In Chapter 2, we expose exactly when and why the eye was flipped from divine to dangerous. At some point in history, a sacred symbol became a weapon. The eye, once a protector, was given a new name, evil. But who changed the meaning and why? This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a deliberate inversion. Because symbols don't just decorate culture, they shape perception. And when you distort a symbol, you distort what it once protected. As centralized religions and empires rose, so did their need to control the narrative. In early Christian texts, symbols like the eye were stripped of their spiritual roots. In Islamic empires, open mystical practices were slowly pushed aside by formal orthodoxy. In European folklore, the eye became associated with witchcraft, heresy, and pagan rebellion. Over time, the protective gaze was rewritten into a malevolent glare. The name changed, not because the symbol changed, but because those in power needed people to fear awareness, to fear being seen, to fear their own energy. It was easier to make the masses scared of the eye than to let them know what it actually did. This was more than iconography. It was spiritual warfare. Make people believe the eye is dangerous, and they'll avoid anything that helps them see clearly. They'll remove it from temples. They'll stop wearing it. They'll stop asking questions. They'll stop watching themselves, because they'll think the eye is watching them instead. And just like that, the symbol of divine protection becomes a tool of mass suppression. If this is changing how you see the world, like the video and share it with someone who still thinks the eye is a curse. In the next chapter, we reveal the true eye they don't want you to discover. Not the one outside of you, but the one within. They told you the eye was watching you, but the real eye was always meant to help you watch yourself, not from the outside, but from within. Across ancient traditions, the eye symbol wasn't just spiritual art. It was a map of consciousness. And at the center of that map, a tiny gland buried deep inside your brain, called the pineal gland. Some call it the third eye, others the seat of the soul. But nearly all ancient systems agreed on one thing. This is where inner vision begins. In Egypt, it was the Eye of Horus, a symbol of spiritual sight, intuitive power, and divine order. In Kabbalah, it mirrors the central sephira on the tree of life, where spiritual clarity pierces illusion. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the Ajna chakra governs intuition, foresight, and clarity. A third eye that sees what the physical eyes cannot. Even in the Bible, Jesus says, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." They weren't talking about a literal eye. They were talking about the lens of perception, the gateway between spirit and matter. The original eye was built into your biology. But today, most people don't even know it exists. The pineal gland is dismissed as mystical nonsense. Modern life bombards it with fluoride, toxins, overstimulation. It's dulled, silenced, ignored, because a person who sees clearly, a person who can perceive beyond the noise, is very hard to control. And that's the greatest threat to any system built on illusion. The evil eye was never evil, but the fear of it, that was by design. In the next chapter, we'll expose how the eye was transformed into the ultimate tool of mass control, and how it still shapes the world you live in. What happens when a symbol of protection becomes a symbol of control? The eye, once sacred, inward-facing, and divine, was slowly weaponized into something else entirely. Not a mirror of clarity, but a spotlight of guilt. The all-seeing eye didn't vanish. It was just repositioned, from spiritual awakening to surveillance. Enter the panopticon, a prison design where inmates are watched from a central tower, but can't tell when they're being watched. The result? They start watching themselves. They self-censor. They conform. Sound familiar? This concept lives everywhere now. Cameras on every street corner. God is watching. Guilt conditioning. Phone mics. Facial tracking. Terms of service that know more about you than your own family. The eye was flipped. From a guardian to a ghost you can't escape. Not to awaken your soul, but to keep your behavior in check. In pop culture, the eye became a fear tactic, a cue for secret societies, dark rituals, shadow control. But that's only part of the illusion. They want you to fear the symbol, so you'll never question who's actually using it and how it still frames the world around you. It's the perfect control mechanism, a symbol you don't understand but feel anxious around anyway. A subtle reminder that someone, somewhere, is always watching. But here's the truth. The eye was never the enemy. The enemy is what they did with it. In the next chapter, we follow the symbol into the hands of the people who still use it. Because if it was just a myth, why does it still show up everywhere? If the evil eye is just superstition, why does it still appear in the world's most powerful places? If it's meaningless, why do the elite wear it, display it, and guard it? They tell you it's just a logo, just an aesthetic, just a coincidence. But symbols don't survive thousands of years by accident. They survive because they work. The eye of providence. On the back of the US dollar, sitting atop a 13-step pyramid, radiating light, the all-seeing eye in Masonic lodges and secret society architecture, cathedrals, domes, and stained glass windows across Europe. Vatican art, Islamic calligraphy, Jewish amulets, all feature variations of the eye. In modern times, celebrities flashing one-eye symbolism, fashion brands printing the Nazar on luxury clothing, tech companies subtly weaving it into interface design. Are they just being edgy, or do they know something that you don't? The eye isn't inherently good or evil. It's a tool, a lens, a symbol of attention, power, and alignment. And those who understand it use it to focus, to deflect, to signal knowing. It's not about conspiracy. It's about consciousness. Because the truth is this: you're not supposed to fear the symbol. You're supposed to understand it, so you're no longer controlled by those who do. If the eye keeps showing up, maybe it's not to threaten you. Maybe it's trying to wake you up. Like this video, if you're ready to reclaim what they tried to bury. Because in the final chapter, we return the eye to its rightful place, not above you, not watching you, but within you. You've feared it. You've misunderstood it. You've seen it twisted and used against you. But now, it's time to take it back. The eye was never meant to dominate you. It was meant to awaken you. The evil eye was not a curse. It was a mirror, reflecting who you are and how clearly you're willing to see. The ancient ones knew your true enemy isn't outside of you. It's unconsciousness. The eye, whether in your hand, around your neck, or in your mind, was a tool to bring presence, to deflect envy, illusion, and distraction. When you wear the eye, when you invoke it, you are not inviting evil. You are confronting it with clarity, with light, with truth. You become the one who sees, not the one who hides. The world today is full of noise, false signals, shiny traps, but those who learn to see clearly, to hold the gaze, to stay aware without flinching, those are the ones who can't be enslaved. The return of the eye is not about superstition. It's about awakening, reclaiming your ability to perceive, to reflect, to guard what is sacred within you. You were never meant to run from the eye. You were meant to become it. If this video shattered something you were taught to fear, then good. It means you're waking up. This is Deionos. Here, we study forgotten codes, buried truths, and the power they hoped you'd never reclaim. Subscribe if you're ready to remember what they made you forget. Watch, remember, awaken.